Welcome back to day 2 of Ravens Daily. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and today we're going to talk a little wide receiver play. But before we get into it, I want to say thank you to everyone that came through yesterday, whether it was in the initial episode of Ravens Daily or at the Ravens Roundup, last night. Thank you everybody that donated, that tipped, that super chatted. I appreciate all those. And I'm just going to put it right back into the channel and, try to give you the best content that I can on a daily basis. Say shout outs to a few people that's in here already while we let everybody kind of gather themselves in and come in. What up, Rogue Podcast, Hendo? My brother in YouTube world, we on the Ravens Roundup together. Baltimore Mike, Death Moth, Stephen FL, Kai. I see Brandon in the chat. And speaking of Brandon, I received this nice mug from Brandon. I don't know if you can see that. It says Coach Evans, #1 YouTuber. Appreciate you, B. Appreciate you. And you see I got the purple Kool-Aid in it. And that's for you, B. Salute. Appreciate you. We got Black Daniels in there. Big Reg. What's good? Osmond, God's Child. And I just saw one I didn't recognize. Johnny. Appreciate it. Johnny says OBJ's in Baltimore on a visit. Okay. I didn't know that. I've been working to get this together. Okay. We'll see. We might have to throw that in tomorrow and see what comes out of that. But let's get started. And I don't think anybody's on the phone yet, but the phone lines are open. So if you want to call in and talk about, even if you want to talk about yesterday's topic, that's still fine, because I know a lot of people went to the chat box, the comment section afterwards and said they would have called in and want to call in. So even if you still want to, say your piece about yesterday, that's fine. But the actual topic is what has been up with our wide receivers for the last 2 or 3 years. And we're going to start with that. OBJ's in Arizona. Okay, the meeting's over there. Okay. And you know what? That makes sense, because that's how Josina was able to see the workout. She was actually in with him at a workout, and I guess since the meetings are in Arizona, he's probably in Arizona working out, because it's probably the best place for him to meet and talk to people, and probably go from hotel to hotel just to see different organizations. But we always interested, Black Dan. We always interested. We always try to get receivers, but let's slide on over to the next one. Let's bring up our Jane Doe comment of the day. Actually, that was me. But here it is. The Jane Doe comment of the day is from Off-Grid Woodsman. And lately he's been heavy in the comment section. And he had a nice long comment. And we're going to talk about it in parts. I ain't going to give it to you all at once. We're going to talk about it in parts and go from there. He says, I would like to say the Ravens haven't produced in over 2 to 3 seasons, but it's really just 2022. In 2020, we added Duvernay and Watkins to pretty much the same team that was #1 in 19, save Hurst. Watkins upgraded to replace Snead. Duve upgraded the room and special teams. We tried for Thielen and D-Hop, let's not forget. There's that tried again. Remember, we tried, and you really have to listen to Jose's interpretation of us trying to get receivers. Jose from Lunch Break Hot Take has a great interpretation of how the Ravens tried to get premier players, but I'll save that and let him tell you that. Just mention it to him on their show tomorrow. The tried way the receivers do it, and see if he'll tell you about it. Carrying on. We finished #4 on offense in 2020. In 2021, we drafted Bateman, a potential #1, which I agree with that. Bateman didn't see the field until mid-season. He had Liz Frank, if I'm not mistaken. No, he didn't have Liz Frank. He might have had Liz Frank. What was Bateman's injury his rookie year? Hollywood, Bateman, Duve with Andrews is solid. I agree with that. Hollywood, Bateman, Duvernay with Andrews, that was solid. I agree with that 100%. Hollywood had 1,000 8 yards. Andrews was a beast with 1,364. But the thing is, I asked about the wide receiver room, not the tight ends. So the numbers I'm going to show you in a minute, the tight ends are not included in none of the numbers I'm going to show you. Appreciate it. Hamstring or groin or sports hernia. That's what Duvernay had. All right. So he says, remember, we also tried Galladay and Juju too. Remember, we tried to get those receivers. And there were reports that we tried, and we don't know what our tried is. We don't know if we went hard at them or we just called to see what they was asking for, and then when they told us what the price was, we just didn't call back. So we don't know. Remember in 17 we had guys on IR. Remember we had 17 guys on IR too. We did. That was the injury riddle year. In 22 we lose Hollywood. Bateman gets injured. However, the Ravens plan to ride with young receiving core. That failed. Because remember they said we like our guys. That did fail. That was Prochet's second year, Duvernay's second year. I think we ended up bringing in Dez Bryant later on in the year. It was a cluster. The biggest mistake the last 5 years, Harbaugh and EDC had their we like our guys moment. They failed to add a quality number 1 or number 2, and it backfired. We didn't even draft a wide receiver with 6 fourth-rounders. I think the wide receiver room was progressing from year to year. In 2022, we took a huge step back because of injuries and poor planning, and that's what's leaving everyone with a bad taste. If we had continued to add wide receivers in the draft and landed solid number 1 and number 2, George Pickens, no one would be complaining. EDC has done many good things, but his biggest mistake as a GM was not drafting a wide receiver in 2022, George Pickens, and not getting a solid wide receiver through free agency either. This thing with Lamar began draft night in 2022 with the WTF tweet, and that's when Hollywood was traded. That's what he's referring to. When Hollywood was traded, Lamar tweeted WTF like he didn't know it, but I think he already knew. It just, to see it happen, he was kind of PO'd about it. His number 1 guy going out the door. But again, now I got some numbers to kind of to show you to see what was going on. So first thing I'm gonna show you this. This is what I did was I took out no tight ends are in these numbers, none at all. So these are the first number is the targets, the second number is the catches, and at the bottom you had the catch rate for the wide receiver group of each team. So if you look at Baltimore, D-Jack, Duve, D-Rob, Sammy, Bateman, Wallace, Prochet had a 70.6 catch rate. A 70.6 catch rate. But look at those targets. D-Rob 78 with the most. That's it. 78 is the most, the next highest person is Duvernay with 47. Keep in mind, tight ends are not involved in this. Tight ends are not involved. Then you bump over to Kansas City. So what I did now was I took the 3 teams with the most passing yards, and I wanted to compare what their catch rate and numbers and targets were. So you look at the Chiefs, 69.3 catch rate with Juju being the highest targeted wide receiver at 109. Look at the Chargers. Chargers were second. Keenan, Mike, and then Palmer was their leading targeted guy. They had a 71.2 catch rate. And then you bump on over to the Bucs with Tom Brady. Goodwin had 150 targets. Mike Evans had 133. And they had a 66.1% catch rate. Now the thing is, so other than the Chargers, our guys caught the ball at a higher rate than the Chiefs and the Bucs. So is it opportunity? Is it scheme? What is it? You look at these numbers and you see the catch rate, meaning the percentage of them catching the ball when it's thrown. So is it attempts? Is it the concepts? Is it too much run? That's what I'm trying to figure out, and that's what I'm asking for you guys to tell me how you feel. One more slide, and we'll jump over to the calls. So, looking at that's from last year. Let's go back a couple years from 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. These are our years right here. So obviously 2022 we just talked about. 2021 with Hollywood, he had 139 attempts. We had a 68.1% catch rate. 2022, 65.6% catch rate. And then 2019, which I probably screwed the pooch on that one. Let me see. Because I know the number's not the same. 2019 is 65.6. And 2020 is, they are the same. They do have the same catch rate. So we've improved the catch rate, but the wide receiver room has almost failed the team. And then you look at the year Lamar won MVP. The year Lamar MVP is the last column, 2019. The most targets is Hollywood with 76. Even though we were bludgeoning people with the run, it's crazy. It almost looks as if we were better off just running it, and doing play action. But people started to pick up on the scheme, and so that's why the production went down. Even though the receivers themselves, with the limited opportunities they got, they kind of produced more. The numbers just don't match up. The scheme didn't match up with what the progression of the team. And as Lamar got better as a passer, because honestly, in 2019, Lamar wasn't a great passer. People just were wide open because we ran the ball so well. And then as he got better as a passer, we stopped calling as many pass plays, so to speak. We didn't evolve with Lamar. So that's where I'm at with it. I just wanted to put those numbers out there and see where you at. And again, going to the phone lines, we try to keep it to 5 minutes, and then you can let everybody else go. So what we'll do is transition to the phone lines now. And again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. And let's get this thing started. Make sure we got ourselves over here. Let me get the phone line up so we can run it. All right. Let me turn their volume up so you can hear them. All right, first caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Coach?
What's good?
Ain't not much, man. Just, coming in, showing love to you.
Godson, ain't it?
Hey, yeah, what's going on?
I'm good.
Hey, man, I'm proud of y'all, man. The round table thing y'all got going on, it's like the best thing on YouTube, honestly.
I appreciate it.
Hands down. But, yeah, man, I like that. I just wanted to call and, talk to you about yesterday with LJ wanting that trade.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
What you think about that?
I think he gone, man. Like what BB King say, the thrill is gone.
The thrill is gone.
Yeah, man, it's done. And it's messed up that we even in this position because we should have took care of him years ago. But I be fighting with people at my job all day long about another man money, and I be feeling weird at the end of it. But I just want to see Yo done right at the end of the day for real. I feel like Yo came in the league with a lot against him. I want to see Yo win. I want him to get everything that he deserves. Like he like LeBron James, man. Keep his nose clean, stay out of stuff.
Yep.
He deserves every dime he asking for, in my opinion. But
somebody made a point yesterday in the comments that since Lamar has been the starter, the team has grown as far as their I guess how much they're worth, $1.1 billion. They only grew in a 5-year span after the Super Bowl, like a half a bill, like a 6-year span, a half a bill. So he's basically doubled the value of the team. Well, not doubled, but added $1 billion to the value of the team. And they don't want to give him what he asking for. It ain't like Bashada don't have whatever he's asking for to put in escrow, because he got it. One of the few people that got more money than him is probably Khan down in Jacksonville. Bashada got it.
They say he like the fifth richest highest or something.
Owner,
right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Man, see, this is stuff right here. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like I told you before, man, I've been a Ravens fan since 7th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
If LJ leaves, and I hate to say this because I love the Ravens, but I'm going to, man. They keep playing too many games, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that, man. It's just like and then they keep talking all that love stuff, man. They don't love nobody, man. John Harbaugh lying ass, man. I don't like it, man. I don't like the way they do business. That's it. Just my opinion. But hopefully they sign him, and then I can just listen to this and be like, yeah, I was tripping.
Right.
But I don't see it happen. So,
yeah, money would heal it, but I don't know if they gonna. I think we're dealing with two stubborn people.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bashad is stubborn. I think Lamar's stubborn. I think Bisciotti has the other 30. I say 30 owners, not 31. Bisciotti has the other 30 owners in his ear saying don't do no guaranteed deal, and then Lamar got people in his ear. I think the NFLPA saying hold out for that guaranteed deal. So it's two bricks smashing each other, and I don't see no sight in it. But the thing is, what's messing Lamar up, in my opinion, is because the owners all sticking together. Ain't nobody offering him what he want right now that I know of, and I ain't in nobody's circle to none of them circles like the Josina and them. But don't seem like nobody willing to offer him what he want and give up them picks.
Yeah, facts. But you know what season this is, though. Ain't nobody trying to show their hand before that draft.
Right.
Everybody playing stupid, but once that draft around June or July, when you got your team pretty much almost together, you look and say, "Oh, I still ain't got no quarterback." Everything that I told him, that's off the table now. Yep. I need him. So
exactly.
I'm just saying, like, hey, I get it. I get it, but you ain't just not paying a quarterback. You paying your number one rusher.
Right.
Like, this
and
guy
the face of
your
your team.
You pay. Say it again.
I said, and the face of your team.
And the face of your team. Like, they was not checking for us before old boy came here. Seriously, they talk about him every day. Like, we got 4 or 5 primetime games a year, faithfully. Yep. Before then, we was barely at points when we was like towards the end of Joe Flacco era. We was barely getting like 2 or 3.
Every game was 1 o'clock. Every game was 1 o'clock.
Every game 1 o'clock, except against the Steelers. They might give us a Sunday night game against the Steelers.
Yep, because of the rivalry.
So, I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. I hope that they do right. I hope they do right by this guy, man. I really do, because I can understand if he did something, and it's like, all right, you kind of put yourself in that box. But,
right.
He been solid young man. Like,
nose clean, you don't hear nothing about him in the streets. When he do put stuff on IG, it's him being playful, like him bowling the other day, showing his shoes off. Ain't nothing out there, degrading that he's done that we know of. Got his little side businesses going. Got his little restaurant down there in his hometown somewhere. Got a little rap label. He just doing what he do.
I think the main thing I like about him, for real, for one, is that he never throw nobody under the bus. And on top of that, never throw nobody under the bus. He always give credit to God.
Yep.
That's the main thing, for real. He don't take no credit. He gives straight to God, and then go from there.
Yep.
And then on top of that, like, I be hearing people keep talking about the MVP like 3-4 years ago. But I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life, man. I promise you, man. That was the best season of that was like a damn Super Bowl to me. Honestly. That was like a special. I ain't never seen nobody spin on like 2 or 3 people in the middle of a game. Like, this, come on, coach.
That Cincinnati game.
For years. Yeah, the Cincinnati game. Like, certain stuff. Like, that boy, he's special, man. And I just want to see him get what he deserves. He deserves his bag. I don't care if he asking for $285 guaranteed. Well, you better do some void years and make that money work, and then come back to the table next year and be like, need some cap space.
This is the last point, and I'm going to go to the next one. Do what the Browns did.
Yep.
The Browns did a guaranteed contract, and now they restructured this year. It's going to free up a bunch of money so they can help the team. Then next year, they're going to probably redo it again, because ain't no way in the hell they're going to pay Deshaun Watson $64 million for 3 straight years.
Fact.
They're just gonna work it out. They're gonna kick it down the road, like Hendo say. They're just gonna keep kicking the can.
He already came to the table.
Exactly. It's because it's about principle.
Coming to the table.
Because he signed that deal and then he look at him like, okay, I can't get no help. Okay, let me restructure.
Yep.
Because once you sign, you want to feel the best team. I don't think he's the type of dude that'll sign and just take all his money and don't care about the team like another quarterback did. He gonna come back to the table like, look, we need to get some help, and if I can sign, I mean, if I can restructure whatever and get other people in there, we'll do it.
Yep. Hey, it's like y'all just decide. as fans, we know what's up. We know it ain't no excuse for real the way that they moving.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know this, but yet we drink this Kool-Aid and make excuses for them. I ain't doing it. I'm sorry. They done did a couple things that I ain't like over the years, and now it's getting to the point like, hey, man, hey, I done swallowed my pride on a lot of things. I kept rocking with y'all. Y'all get rid of Shorty, I'm gone, man. That's it.
I feel you, man. I appreciate you for coming through. And hey,
all right, so
we'll be here tomorrow, and then we'll fall back next Monday. The weekend gonna provide us with a lot of content for next week. So we just trying to get through this first weekend and iron out the wrinkles. So I appreciate you for calling.
Always, man. Thank you, man.
No problem.
And congratulations on everything too, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right. Next up. Let's see. Here we go. Number two. Here you go. You're up now. What's your name? What you got for the show?
How you doing? This is Ray Kingdom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you fine. What's good?
Most definitely. Okay. I don't know if you recognize me. My name is Ray Kingdom. I've been, around, you guys, the podcast, and
yeah, I recognize it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what's up. Me, I got this YouTube channel as well, and I do my own little thing, but that's neither here or there. Here's my thing. It's just beautiful because this very subject is my biggest pet peeve when I hear about Raven fans and I hear even the roundtable. And the roundtable, yes, I'm calling them out as well. I like to hear how everybody goes, oh, we need this one wide receiver, that guy. That's true. That's very true. I would love to have that guy. But what makes the Chiefs always a Super Bowl contenders all the time is they have multiple weapons. Multiple. Did people say, oh, wait, he had Tyreek Hill? Yeah, but guess what? He had McCole Harmon that could run a 4.3, he had a whole bunch of dudes. He had Travis Kelce, a tight end. I'd be listening to people. And this is why I'm going to call a round table out. Because I try to go be like, hey, man, the Ravens could pick up Alan Lazard. The whole entire round table started, Alan who? Hendo, Alan who? I said, what do you mean Alan who? Wait, let's pause real quick. Alan Lazard is a 6'5" wide receiver known to catch 50-50 balls. Sure, he ain't the greatest wide receiver. Sure, you can grab some stats and try to go, oh, well, he could have did better. That's cool. I'll give you that. But guess what? He's about better than half of our wide receiver core. Actually, he might be probably better than almost everybody except maybe Bateman. All right, so let's keep it respectful. I just be sitting here laughing this entire fan base when it comes to the Ravens because it's like they'll sit here, for example, like the draft, right? They go, I heard some, you heard it as well. Oh, Holly Brown, we got Hollywood except for DK Metcalf. Stop it. DK Metcalf fell down because they didn't believe in his route running.
I didn't believe in his route running, and I know him personally. I didn't believe in his route running. I know him personally.
Metcalf. I was like, we could have got Metcalf and Hollywood in that same draft. Instead, we got Hurst and Boykin. I remember we got Boykin. The Ravens had said, oh, we got Boykin because we believe that Boykin has a possible chance that he could be really, really good. Him, what he does and his speed and him being big. So let's not sit here and act like people didn't sleep on DJ Metcalf. Now, I bet you everybody would love Metcalf right about now. So don't sit here and talk about blame Hollywood. Oh, why you got to blame Hollywood instead of DK? We got both of them in that draft. I'm telling you, I'm a real Ravens fan. I'm really a veteran, so I do apologize, right? So another thing is the wide receiver core is a big subject for me because I sit here and look at the free agency and I go, dude, we can grab so many pieces that can help because if you take away all of our pieces, we can delete that whole entire room. We can invest in Lamar by giving him targets, giving him weapons, right? We got wide receivers in that free agency. Everybody kept saying that free agency is small and weak. I'm like, what? Half of the wide receivers in that free agency is better than what the wide receivers we got. Porsche, Tylan Wallace, and all those guys. I'm
Right.
like, come on. And another thing, Coach, I'm gonna
Let's
call you out too as well.
let's just say wide receivers. Don't put Prochet in there. Leave my dog alone. But go ahead. Call me out. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna call you out too right here, Coach. You like to bring up stats, and in fairness, stats does mean something. It is important, okay? It definitely calculates what goes on. But you got to me, I feel like it's funny how you do it because you use it to support an argument. Some players, and I sit there and go, Coach, you're not slick, okay? Stats tell the whole story. If you go by stats, okay, we can use basketball. If we use stats, Stephen Curry is like one of the best defenders in the NBA, and we all know that's a lie, okay? So I'm like, Coach, I'm listening. You know, you ain't gonna trick me. You know, you keep me in the tent. I'm just listening to you.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I take the time to research them and type them up, I'm gonna use them for my argument. That's the way I am.
I know. So most definitely, that's really what I want to keep on. I'm glad I was able to even speak about this because I've been a Raven fan for years. I can name the bench to the reserves to whatever, and I listen to and I've been on you guys a podcast, the round table, amazing format that y'all do. Everybody, LBT, I can't even say his name correct.
LBHT.
Engraving, everybody, Hendo. So keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you for talking to me, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you for tuning in. And the good part about it is we want people to see it differently. That makes the conversation better. That just makes the conversation better. If you had a bunch of yes men, the platform and the format wouldn't even be good. It wouldn't even be good. But I appreciate you for calling through.
And trust me, I really agree with most of y'all things. But I be like, nah.
And the thing is, like we always talk about, agree or disagree, just keep it respectful, and we're gonna keep it pushing. That's all it is. And I appreciate you for calling.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Next up. Good call. Great call. Appreciate you, King Rave. Appreciate it. Where is he? There he is. This is my guy. P, you up next, P. What's good? Is he here?
Oh, hey, Coach.
There you go.
I'm sorry, man. I'm here.
You good? What's up with you? How you doing? It's been a minute.
Oh, man. I'm doing. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I missed the show yesterday. Got busy with some personal stuff, but I watched it afterwards, man.
Life happens.
Great. I'm glad you brought this back. Much appreciated.
What you want to talk about? Yesterday or today? Because I know a lot of people still want to talk about yesterday.
We can go a little bit of both. Let's start with today. Then
Okay.
we can go back and recap off of yesterday. But you said it in your introduction, though, Coach. Like they haven't involved with Lamar, right? I mean, we can even go back as far as Joe Flacco. we can go back that far. You know, really, it's something that's embedded in the Ravens' philosophy that they don't value wide receivers, or they just, that whole run the ball and have a great defense. That stuff is old, man. It's played out. They can clearly see that it's not working. They're not evolving with the rest of the NFL. Right. From my thoughts, like if you look at the rest of the NFL, pick the neighbors. Go look at the Steelers. The Steelers find dudes in 4th, 5th, 6th rounds, and they become mega stars.
Right. What was like, AB 5th or 6th?
Yeah, AB was like, I want to say 5th. I want to say 5th or 6th, but he wasn't no first round draft pick. And look at what he did. Outside of what, Juju. Did they get Claypool in the first or the second?
I don't even remember. I just know they have a great way of scouting receivers and developing them.
And developing them, right. You know what I mean? They do a great job. Like, why they haven't tried to poach somebody from Pittsburgh's tree at some point, I don't get it. But I don't know if it's somebody in that building need to really go and say we need to change that philosophy and really rework this thing. And the predicament that they have themselves in now with Lamar I mean, unless they keep making little moves like they made the other day with Aguilar, how you gonna rebuild the wide receiver room like they keep broadcasting? How you gonna do that?
I don't know.
Like who you?
They got to draft. They got to draft better and bring in a guy for the next 2 to 3 years to transform that room.
Exactly. You know, and they they made all these announcements at the end of the season, like, oh yeah, you know what? Just watch and wait what we gonna do. Watch and wait what we gonna do.
We watch.
And your first move is, I mean, unless they waiting on draft night, coach, to make some serious trades or something that's going to be like, oh wow,
right.
You know, everybody speculating they're going to trade PQ. Yeah. You know, maybe Duvernay might get traded, but you're going to have to really make some huge moves.
Yeah, I think the closer we get to the draft, I think PQ is the bait because we don't have but 5 picks. I think PQ is going to be the bait for somebody.
Exactly, and they still got that dude, the one they drafted from Michigan too, Ross, that got hurt at the beginning of the year. I guess you can see that they can push him in there, or what's the other dude I like too?
Malik.
Malik. Yeah, they can maybe just put him there, and and it'll be fine. Because I really think PQ already know that that's probably what's going to happen. That's why he took all the stuff off of, Instagram or whatever. It could be like the whole Hollywood and everybody saying like, hey, look, we already paid Roquan. Come to draft night, this is what we're going to do with you. I don't know if you remember, but I did a super chat when y'all was doing a round table one time, and I said in there that I believe that they've already chalked it up that Lamar, they're going to trade him. They just looking for a suitor.
Lamar or PQ?
Come draft night for Lamar now.
Okay.
I'm talking about Lamar now.
Okay.
That they just looking for somebody to work a deal with. But I guess Lamar's camp, was like, no, we need to put that out there right now that we already requested a trade. Way before they even, had to put the tag on them. So I think they try to keep stuff quiet and in-house, but Lamar took another road and was like, no, I want to make this public because y'all, somehow y'all just keep slandering my name, so I'm not going to keep it quiet.
Exactly.
The Hollywood thing, they kept quiet. Go ahead, Coach, I'm sorry.
No, I just said exactly. That's all. I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, so, who knows how this thing going to turn out. He could end up playing. If this thing keep going on, that all these other so-called teams that don't want Lamar, I don't see how you don't want a quarterback like that. It's not like, Joe Flacco went and said he wanted to trade. Right. You got a unanimous MVP, superior quarterback. He's definitely in the top 5.
Yep.
If and he ain't number 5 for sure of quarterbacks right now in the league. And you telling me all these quarterback-needy teams out here, nobody wants to try to touch him? The Ravens, Bashadi going to see come draft night, and some teams might even wait until after the draft, which the Ravens would be crazy to trade them after the draft, because if it's after the draft, you don't get no real compensation this year.
Right. So
what you going to do at the quarterback? You gonna bring in Huntley?
No, don't let somebody need a backup. Then Snoop gone.
Right, Snoop gone, and then everybody thinking that the dude that played at Georgia with them, what's that dude's name?
The quarterback.
The quarterback, yeah.
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett. Everybody think that he not gonna get drafted, and they just going, get him off of being an undrafted rookie free agent. But another team might be like, you know what? We got a quarterback, but let's bring him in as a good backup.
Right.
And try to work him out. I mean, he did just win a national championship. So they can't count on the fact that dude's going to go undrafted and they can just going to bring him in and maybe run that system. But, I see him over my time, Coach, but, man, much appreciated, man. I love the fact that you brought this out.
Appreciate it.
I'm really disappointed in my Ravens with how this whole scenario has pulled out. But I agree with you on one big thing. It's It's not EDC. I don't think it's Harbaugh. I think if it was those two guys, they would have been signing the check.
I think so too.
It's Steve Bisciotti. It's Bisciotti, man.
Yep. Because it's his money. You can't tell a man what to do with his money.
Yeah, and I get it. But my thing is Bisciotti. Do you just care about owning a good team, or do you really want to bring home some trophies and some championships?
Right.
Or you just want to be known, I own a football team.
That third ring
I
will
own a football
put the
team.
franchise in a different state of mind. That third ring.
A whole different state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention that you probably would be on the level of competing for championships for at least the next 5 years if you sign this man.
Mm-hmm.
The conference has been locked.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. Coach, I'm going to let you go, man. I'm going to keep listening to the show, and much appreciated. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it. P always call in, been a long time subscriber. Definitely one of the ones that call in frequently on the call in show on Sundays after the games. We call them therapy sessions. Next up,
right, exactly.
Next up we have 909. 909, you live. What's your name? What you got for the show?
Sure.
Yeah, you up?
I'm on, Coach?
Yes, you are. Skip.
How you doing, Coach?
What's good? What's good, huh?
Oh, man, I'm loving what you're doing with this, man. In the spirit of football, Coach, give me the 2-minute warning.
I will.
Let me know when I'm down to 2 minutes.
I will.
So let's go real quick here. First off, with the wide receiver thing, I appreciate you bringing that up. I really get tired of the players on our team getting crapped on because they get used improperly or they're exposed to coaches that don't know how to use them. And I'm not saying that the receivers we have are the best of the best. Not at all. But in a league that promotes passing and makes it as easy to pass the ball as it's ever been in the history of the game almost, if you aren't able to effectively move the ball through the air, you almost aren't trying.
Right.
And so that doesn't mean you're airing it out and throwing 40-yard bombs or anything, but the ability to run pick routes without getting called against you, the ability to do all types of things without your receivers being harassed downfield, you can move the ball through the short game. We saw Brady extend his career by almost 10 years by just dumping it off, throwing short. So there's a lot of guys who don't have great arm strength, who still put up the yard, who still move the ball through the air. And I'm not saying that I would promote a pass-only offense, but it needs to be an effective passing game, especially if you're one that's going to try to run. They have to complement each other. So I think that if you're having that issue, you probably got a scheme problem, or you have a usage problem. Guys are using properly, or your scheme's bad if you can't move the ball through. So that's my 2 cents on the receiver. Of course, I want to talk about this Lamar situation, but before that, I think I saw where like 5 of EDC's first-round draft picks have asked to be traded, and you'll get all these people who will jump in and immediately say, well, Zeus had a reason because he wants to play left tackle and this person and that person. And it's like, yeah, everybody who wants to be traded has a story behind it.
Right.
Don't use that as an excuse. But I think the Zeus thing gets mixed up. Zeus did want to play left tackle. But if you had his daddy in the building, there's a history there. You have access to this kid. Shouldn't you have known that before you drafted him, that he wanted to play left tackle? And that speaks to a problem that the Ravens have. We always draft dudes and try to play them in a position they either don't play in college or they don't want to play.
Yep.
And we try to make it work. And when it fails, the talent gets blamed. The athlete gets blamed. And when I'm looking at a football player from college and evaluating them for the NFL, I don't like to have to use my imagination. What I'm going to ask you to do on this level, I need to see some of that in college.
Right.
And far too often, we are asking our fans to use our imagination to project what this kid is going to be once he becomes a Raven. Because we're not going to use him the way he was used.
Right.
We got guys up and down the roster that are used that way. And so I just think that that's making too many excuses for the franchise when we go that route and talk about the individual stories everyone has, from Hollywood to Zeus. Nah, man, everybody got a story.
Yeah.
And the Ravens should have did their homework, and they should have known better. You want to bring a 160-pound wide receiver into a run-heavy offense and then ask him to block all the time?
Right.
Really? And they think that he won't have to go somewhere else? That's a failure on your part, not his.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna finish with this here, Coach. a lot of people bring up precedent. They say that the Ravens don't want to create precedent.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with contracts. I've negotiated contracts, coach, and I've signed unprecedented contracts. But the way you negotiate those is that you better make sure that if you're going to sign a contract that you don't want to set precedent, you set the standard to be unprecedented individuals who have to qualify. Like you have to be unprecedented to qualify for this contract. That way everybody doesn't get it. And for anybody who's like, oh, they don't do that stuff. Yeah, they do. When the 49ers were saying, man, how can we pay you as a wide receiver who runs the ball all the dang time? And D was like, I don't give a crap how you do it. You just better do it. Yeah, I ain't Tyreek Hill, but you better give me my money.
Right.
They said, okay, we're going to put in your contract. If you eclipse 300 yards or something really low, we'll give you this escalator in your contract.
Mm-hmm.
You can negotiate a functional, fully guaranteed contract by putting those escalators in there so low that it's almost, if they put a 500-yard rushing for the season in there on Lamar's contract, yeah, everyone else is not guaranteed. But for Lamar, it's essentially guaranteed. He's going to hit 500, no problem.
Right.
Every season. He could do that in his sleep. And you could do things like that where it satisfies the masses and the other owners, and you don't have to worry about everyone qualifying because everyone's not Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe Josh Allen raises his hand and says, I want some of that too.
Right.
Maybe Jalen Hurts. Maybe some kids come along in the future. But even if that is the case, we're not going to have guys who aren't worthy getting that money, getting access to those types of contracts. And I'm not saying it has to be so low as 300 yards or anything, or even 5. But we do know that number for Lamar Jackson is a lot higher than most people.
Right.
Because what a lot of people were afraid of with him coming into the NFL, that he would get hurt, even though he outrushed Saquon Barkley in college, all years almost, I think. He hasn't gotten hurt running the ball because his style of running is not one that puts him in danger like most people.
Right.
Josh Allen is more subject to possibly getting hurt one day, the way he runs like a bruiser.
Yeah,
Lamar,
like Cam used to run. Lamar don't run like Cam.
Yeah, like Cam. He doesn't. So you can make his contract essentially fully guaranteed without it being guaranteed on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just my 2 cents about it. I think that some of these conversations we're having in the wrong way. And we're setting our sights a little too low.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be creative, man. If you're dealing with the once in a lifetime talent, you might have to treat them a little differently. Mm-hmm. And remember how we treated Ray. When Ray came in, he was not the typical inside linebacker, definitely not middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit smaller, very athletic, very fast, and he was going to get beat up by all of those offensive linemen getting to the second level on him. So what do? They gave him Siragusa. They gave him Big Sam Adams. They said, you guys protect this man. Yeah. You protect this. You protect our cash cow, and we will reward you for that. And that's what they did. Their job was just to keep bodies off of Ray and let Ray hunt. And Ray told the Ravens that if you keep me,
the conference has been unlocked.
I'll reward you handsomely for that. And he did. And he did over and over again. And he was the one that ushered in a culture and created a culture that, in my opinion, Harbaugh and this administration are still living off of that they don't deserve. That's Ray's. Ray built that.
Yep, sure
Ray built that. Ed built that. This isn't their reputation. That quote-unquote Ravens way, that belongs to Ray.
Yep, I agree 100%. We talked about it last night. That was there before Harbaugh. That was there before him.
Yeah.
The conference has been locked.
Coach, I know you got other people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you allowing me to get in here and run my mouth.
No problem. I appreciate you for calling in, man.
Keep it up.
We'll be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay. All right.
You're a West Coast guy, so it's like a little after lunchtime for you.
Yeah. I'll try to make time for you though, Coach.
Okay, I appreciate it. We got one more caller, and I appreciate them for coming back in because I don't know if they were getting timed out or what, but I picked up on the pattern. I let them back in, and I locked it again because it's after 5. So we got one more. Let's see if I can get them in here. 862, last caller. Thank you for constantly trying to get back in. I was trying to time it where I could get you in and not reopen it. And I got you in here. What's your name and what you got for the show? Oh, you got to turn me down in the background too.
This is Josh, and from Jersey, so what's going on?
You got to turn me down in the background.
Oh, my bad.
All right, now go ahead.
So So with this whole Lamar Jackson thing, right? Me personally, like, I see him, like, I believe he want to stay,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more of like, is it more of a contract or just like he not seeing like the Ravens really like trying to go all out to like actually provide for him? I don't know. It could be both, but I think it's more of a contract. Like I personally feel like if he gets what he wants, like he might stay. But then again, I'm also fearing that like he's to a point where like he don't care what the Ravens even try to get from now. They'll probably take like a slight bit from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. You said a
So
smaller deal?
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just one part of it. And with this whole wide receiver situation is like we can't really go out and find nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if he's like wanting to go out to make a big splash and say for like Evans or D, that's gonna be hard because one we ain't got the quarterback line, and then who knows what their conversation is. So like we're like in a real tough spot right now. So like personally, I feel like we just gotta handle the quarterback the whole quarterback situation out first, and then go out and see what we do at the wide receiver spot.
So if we handle the quarterback situation and pay Lamar, then like if we keep waiting to do it, there won't be any good receivers out there, and then your only chance to even upgrade the room will be in the draft. And you only got 5 picks this year, and you got more holes than wide receiver. So that's why them waiting so late to me is hurting the team because it handicaps them as far as building around Lamar if they even can get him to stay.
Like me personally, I feel like it might all happen at the draft. Like everything will be during the draft, or at least like the whole weekend up the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel we might trade Patrick Queen and get a wide receiver. I hope not.
Mm-hmm.
But if he got to go, then he got to go. But I feel like everything will happen at the draft. And honestly, even after the draft, I feel like somebody could go after for Mike Evans. I mean, he still with the Bucks. I mean, honestly, have to happen before the draft. I mean, he could be traded at any time. It's just that we don't know what his cap is going to be either. Like,
right.
I think his contract is at 19 mil or 17 or something like that. But I don't know. For every contract for that off, that'd be some. I don't see that happening. That's way out of the norm.
I don't think DaCosta got Riz like that. I don't know if DaCosta got the Riz like that.
But then again, at the same time, though, I don't necessarily think it's DaCosta. I think it's just straight up Shy just cheap.
Yeah.
I feel like he wants to go out and get a top wide receiver, via trade or through the free agency. But see, at the end of the day, he has to write the check.
Mm-hmm.
So he can vouch for anybody he wants. But if Stephen Shy said, no, we'll get this guy at this amount. Yeah, there's only so much that he can do. So I don't know. I mean, I just hope this whole situation gets resolved, maybe before the draft. But who knows what they do everything at the last second. So we gonna see.
Yeah, we operating at the 24th hour, the 23rd.55 hour. That's what we operating in. It's do or die time for Baltimore. It's like we say back in Mississippi. It's time to either shit or get out the pot.
But what do you feel from your perspective? What do you feel like we should do first? Besides sign with Lamar and get a wide receiver. Is there any other transactions that should be done?
First thing is, to me, priority one is keep 8 in the fold. Everything else don't matter. If he not here, we in rebuild. I don't care how great our defense is, because we can have the best player at every position, and people still gonna score on you. Look at the Eagles. The Eagles defense was stacked, had 70 some odd sacks, which is outrageous. And the Chiefs had a basically all number 2 and 3 receivers, and still won the game. So defense don't win championships no more. Offense do. Defense helps. Timely defense helps. Situational defense helps. But defense as a whole don't win championships no more. So I appreciate you for coming through, man. I appreciate it.
You have a good day, Coach.
You too. Great call. Great call.
Thank you.
All right. So we're back to me. Hold on. 1 second. All right. Now we good. Hey, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Again, great second day. The callers were great callers. The chat was live. It was popping. If you have not hit that like button, please do so. And again, you have, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I was able to get the timer on the screen. And I'm going to try not to cut you off, but, just like P. Brownie did. He saw that his time was up. He wrapped it on up. So I don't want to get the Dave Chappelle wrap it up box. But again, I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Tomorrow we'll have a new topic. That topic will be out soon in the community Discord. So if you want your comment to potentially be one of the Jane Doe comments of the day, once I drop the topic in the community, not Discord, in the community tab in YouTube, go put it there. Now we got if you don't know, I have a Discord also, but in order to be a part of the Discord, you got to be a patron. And so I got 3 or 4 different levels, or whatever level fits you if you want to be in that Discord and talk ball all the time. Because like I said, I can't get to the chat box with doing this. Let's see. And appreciate you. And he dropped 5. He says number 8 is a priority to win the Super Bowl. We aren't that far away. We have beaten Cincy, KC, and stood toe-to-toe with Buffalo. And we stood toe-to-toe with Cincy with Tyler Huntley, too. Steven made that point yesterday. We stood toe-to-toe with Cincy with Tyler Huntley as the QB. But again, that Discord is popping. The whole crew has Discord, so if you want to get in it, please go to patreon.com and sign up for that. As you see the QR code for Cash App if you want to support the show. PayPal also, and if you hit that pinned comment in the Streamlabs, that'll take you to a site where you can contribute to the show also. Again, thank everybody for coming through. You could have been anywhere in the world. It's time for me to get that receiver work in. I got matter of fact, I'll tell you who I got first. Where my paper at? I did a lot. I got some info on a lot of them today. I got Hutchinson from Iowa State. I got Mims from Oklahoma, and I got Mingo from Ole Miss. Those I don't know if all 3 of them coming out today. Now I ain't promising you that, but I am gonna start working on them, and you'll definitely get one today, and they'll probably roll after that. And one, after Wednesday I'll pick it up too, because this is a lot. But thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate everybody, and signing out. Hit that like button before you leave. Share. If you're catching the replay, put your comments in the comment section. And again, if you want your comment to maybe be featured tomorrow on the Jane Doe comment of the day, once I drop the topic, go to the community tab in YouTube and add your comment there. Again, appreciate you. Let me see who gave me that. Off Grid Woodsman for today's comment of the day. And I'm out, man. Peace.